Welcome to another Tweaker Man video. We're going to be showing you how to make a high-end digital interconnect in this video. Right, basically what we're doing is we're using the same wire as we used in all our previous cables. This one is 0.8 10% silver cladded copper. Okay, and what we're going to be doing, we're going to be doing the same as what we've done. I've already done one so far. I've covered it in PTFE tape again. So we're going to cover the next one in PTFE tape. Right, also what we need for this project is we need a soldering iron, we need, I use an old tuner just to plug the plugs in so I can solder them easy. We need a heat gun for the heat shrink, we need some heat shrink, and most especially we need some really quality RCA plugs. These ones are a copy of a Furatech plug. They come from China again, £4.15 off eBay. They're a bargain and they're real quality as well. So they're lock-in ones. They even come with a bit of carbon fibre on there. It's amazingly cheap. Also, you're going to need some solder. We use this WBT solder. Right, okay. So we're going to start with the first thing we need to do is we need to start covering our conductor in PTFE tape. Now this is a twisted geometry, this one. So we're going to be twisting two cables together, two conductors I should say. So like before, same process again. Whoops, that's come off. Get it started first a bit. Right, we're just carrying on twisting the PTFE tape. It's quite time consuming right along the length of the conductor. Right, we are coming to the end of the PTFE tape. Work back on it a bit. Now this has had two layers now of PTFE tape. I'm going to snip that off there. Right, this cable is going to be similar to a coaxial cable, but because we want to use the silver cladded copper for the signal path and the ground, we're using two conductors in the centre. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be twisting this by hand. Now some people would say, well, I don't use a drill to twist. We did show you using a drill in one of the previous videos, but we won't just do a consistent twist by hand. It goes nice and neat, and just keep twisting it like that. It takes a bit of time, but nothing good is made quick. Right, what I failed to say is we need to mark one of the conductors, so I've put a bit of red pen on each end of this one here, so we know that what one's what, otherwise you'll get confused at the end. You won't know what conductor's the ground and what conductor's the signal path. Right, okay, we've twisted our two conductors together now. If you look there, nice neat twist. That's why I like doing it by hand. It comes up really nice and neat. Right, okay, now we're going to be covering this now again in some more PTFE tape. Remember, we've marked our ends so we know what conductor's what. Right, okay. Now, just do the same thing again. Cover the whole cable in two layers of PTFE tape now. Right, okay, we're coming to the end of the second layer of PTFE tape now. Keep winding it on. Keep it back there, then come back on yourself a little bit, and then we're going to snip that off. Right, now, unlike all our other videos, they were all unshielded cables. Now this one's going to be a shielded cable. Okay, there we go. It's covered in two layers of PTFE tape. So we're going to put that to one side for the minute. And now we're going to be showing you how to get some braid and some aluminium foil tape. Now what we do is we just buy some Van Dam coaxial cable, and basically we're going to cut it open because otherwise this is going to cost you a fortune to make a set of these interconnects, and we're trying to keep the price as cheap as possible. So basically, buy a metre of Van Dam coaxial cable, and we'll cut the rubber sheath off of it, or the PVC I should say. Right, with a blade straight along it. Okay, keep it going. As we come to the end, we just want to lift it up. Right, okay, we're going to just peel that back. Now, the braid under here is a tinned copper braid. Okay, so we've took that back. Now we want to just take the sheath off, the braid off again. There we go. Now that's going to be our braid to cover it. Okay, after we've taken off the aluminium foil tape. Okay, now this aluminium foil tape, see the big long strip like that. So you want to gently be able to pull that back. There we go, we should be able to just slide that out. Okay. There we go. You can just use tin foil. You should go to the supermarket, you can buy some extra thick tin foil and you can use that, but we're going to be using this like this. Okay, and what we're going to be doing is, instead of wrapping it like they did there, we're going to be twisting it around, overlapping it as we go. Right, so we'll start off there like that. We're going to be gradually twisting it round, which is sometimes a bit difficult to get it started. Yep. Right, okay, we're just going to be twisting it round, right around until we get down to the bottom. Right, okay, we've covered the conductors now in PTFE tape, and then we've put the aluminium shielding tape over the top. So now we're just going to put a bit of PTFE tape at each end of that, just to make sure it doesn't go over onto the conductors, just nice and tight. Just down a little bit. Right, okay, back on yourself a little bit, chop that off. Right, doing this on both ends, same with this end as well. Right, okay, chop that off. Now all we need to do now is we're just going to put a piece of PTFE tape on the end of these this conductor, because we want to these two conductors, we want to thread all the braid through, and we don't want it to get hooked up in the braid. We'll be taking this off afterwards. It's just a quick. Okay, now we're going to take this tinned copper braid now, and we're going to slide we need to open the end up a little bit, just like that. Then we're going to slide that into it. See, now you've got to be really careful not to hook on the sides of it as you go up. It does hook a little bit, it does catch it. Just slowly do it. We've threaded it through to the end there. We're not going to be taking this braid right to the end at this end, but on the other end we're going to be connecting the braid to the ground wire as well, because that enhances the shielding of it. Now we're going to just be putting a bit of PTFE tape again around that, just to hold that in place. Okay, and now we're left with the other end. Now we're going to pull that tight down to there, give it a nice, and now we've got to fill our conductors at the end there. We're going to snip this because they're oversized. Okay, now we've got to pull that back to about there, where we can see the actual end of the PTFE tape. Then we're going to put another piece of PTFE tape around that. Okay, nice and tight. Keep it nice and tight. all along, come back again. Okay, we'll snip that there. So right now we're going to pull our braid back on itself a bit and then take that bit of PTFE tape that we put on the end there. Now the conductor that we used, which we coloured in red, is going to be the signal flow, the centre conductor, and the other one is going to be the ground wire. Now what we have to do is we just need a very fine piece of this braid. We'll take it and we'll twist it like so. Okay, and this wire we're going to connect this braid. We're going to connect to the ground wire by just twisting it round like so. Okay. Okay, now we're going to chop the rest of all that off with a pair of scissors. We're just going to trim all that back like so. Right. Okay, so we're trimming the rest of that braid back. Now, any bits of strands we just chop off like so. Right, okay, now we're going to be covering the rest of this braid now in PTFE tape. And because we want to make it quite thick, we're probably going to build up several layers of it, maybe about 4 layers of PTFE tape to thicken the cable up a bit. So we're just going to be taking our PTFE tape again like we've done. We're just going to be twisting it round and round again. Okay. Right, we've come to the end of our PTFE tape, and we're going to chop that off. Right, now because these RCA plugs have got quite a big insert there, inlet, we want to build a little bit up on there just to build it up to that sort of size. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building up some several layers towards the end of some heat shrink. So we're going to chop some heat shrink, right, in several different sizes. So we're going to chop that. So we want two at that size. Then we're going to increase the size again slightly. So you just want to thicken the cable up because there's a little screw there to screw the housing of the plug down so it doesn't come loose at all. We don't really want it coming loose. Right, we're going to go slightly bigger now, and then we're going to start putting the heat shrink on. Stick it back there. Okay, now we're going to start with a smaller one on each end. So we're going to poke that open, slide that on to about there. Now we're going to just heat that up with a gun. All around there. Now we're going to slide on a slightly bigger one. Same again. Then we're going to slide on the even bigger one, and we're going to do the same to the other end as well. So okay. Right, okay, we've got our heat shrink bits on each end. Now what we're going to be doing is covering the whole cable in heat shrink now. Make sure you can see your conductor still there with the red on it. A bit of red, there's a little bit of tape there, that's it. Right, okay. So we're going to just measure now a piece of heat shrink, the whole length of the cable. It's about there. Chop that off. Put that back up there. Okay, so with this heat shrink, you really need, because it's like it's flat, you need to sort of open it up a bit. Run your finger along there several times like that just to open it up. Otherwise, you'll find you won't be able to get the cable through very easy. Right, okay, that's that. Right, There we go. We'll just thread all that through now, right the way through it. Okay, now we've got our heat shrink over the whole thing, so we're just going to shrink it all down. Right, okay, this is all covered in heat shrink now. Now, when I make cables for myself, I tend to just leave them in the heat shrink. It don't really bother me what they look like. I'm really more after the sound quality than anything else. But to show you how to give it a professional look, we're going to use some nylon braid over the top of it. So we're going to slip the nylon braid on. Okay. Again, you could put a bit of PTFE tape over the conductors because they sometimes just pinch into nylon braid a bit. This is just black nylon braid. Take it right up to the end. Right, we're going to now put another piece of heat shrink on over the top of this. Okay, just to take that back very slightly. Okay, what we're going to be doing is slide another piece of heat shrink over the end of that. So probably just chop that in half, that piece there. This is a slightly bigger one. This is a 12mm heat shrink. The other one was only a 7mm. Okay, right, now we're going to pop that over the top of that. Right, okay, we've got the heat shrink over the nylon braid, that last piece now, and now we're going to be using the gun again just to heat that up. Try to avoid going too close to the nylon braid because it may melt it, you see. So I'm going to go around like that, shrink it down again, keep it back from the nylon braid a bit, try to, okay, that's that. Right, now this end, the nylon braid's long, so we're going to trim that back, and what we do is we just trim it back with the soldering iron. Right, okay, we're going to just be cutting off the nylon braid with the soldering iron all around, just to trim that back. Okay, there we go. Now we need to clean the soldering iron off quite well just to get rid of any nylon braid that's on there. Right, okay, we're going to pop our second piece of heat shrink over the end, this end. Heat shrink it down again with a gun. Remember to hold it back from the nylon braid as you go. You don't want to melt that. It makes you look rubbish if you melt it. Right, there we go, that's all done. Right, okay, there's our complete cable made. Now all we've got to do now is just to fix the RCA plugs on the end. Right, so we're going to now spread the conductors apart. We can just about see that little bit of red on there. Same with the other end. And this end has got the braid connected to the ground wire. Okay, so we take our old tuner that we use just so we can plug the plug into it. Okay, so first of all we need to undo the plug. Okay, now the Allen key there, the Allen key bolt there just needs to be pulled back a little bit. Right, okay, we're just undoing the screw there. Pull the screw back. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to fit our cable through, thread our cable through. There we go, straight through that. Right, now we've got a red one into the centre there. We're going to pull that back, the ground wire. Just push that in a bit more. I've made it quite tight, this cable now. There we go, snap that into place there. Okay, just try to put it up as much as we can into there. Okay, great. Right, okay, now we're going to be plugging that into there. We're going to be soldering that off. Then we're going to be soldering the ground wire as well, and then do exactly the same to the other end. So let's get that soldered up. Okay. Bit more. Right, that's our centre conductor. Right, so we'll just pull that off for a minute now. We're just going to trim that back. Okay, with a pair of snippers. Okay, just like that. So we're going to take that down to the side there more. Right, okay. Trim that back. Now we're going to solder that onto there. Okay. Now what we might have to do is just file that down a little bit afterwards, just to make sure, because this end doesn't always flip on very well, you see. So we're going to just file that down with a file in a minute to show you how to do that. But for now we're just going to concentrate on the other end again. So we're going to undo the plug there again, and we're going to just solder that on the same as the other one. Go. Right, okay, we're just going to be filing down this little piece of solder there. It just helps the plug end go on better. It will run smooth, otherwise it's going to keep getting caught. Right, there's a little bit still there, a bit of a knobbly bit there. Let's try that on there, see whether that works, or whether it needs a little bit more. It needs a bit more on that one. A little bit more still. Right, we'll just finish, grab that last bit off of there. Now, that should then go onto there. There you go, nice and smooth. Right, what we've got to do now is we've got to tighten up this Allen key screw. Right, okay, just screwing the other end on. We've done the Allen key bolts up. Right, there we go. Digital Interconnect, totally made. Now what we're going to do also is on one end we're going to put a cable ferrule. Okay, this stops any this takes any nastiness out of the cable, any interference as well as the braid and that. We're just going to clip that onto there. There we go. Slide that up a bit. There we go. That's our Digital Interconnect made, totally made. These digital interconnects are really only for short lengths of about up to 1.5 meters really. So, but most people have their DAC and their transport or their CD player, which they're using as a transport, not too far away from it. So, I mean, you would expect to pay quite a lot of money for a cable like this. The conductor material that we've used is far superior to just silver plated stuff that you get on a lot of mainstream cables, which is relatively cheap to make. Okay, thank you for watching another Tweak a Man video. Like and subscribe to our video.